And hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn a Trade. My name is Kevin Tate. Glad to be here with you today. Today's broadcast is titled HVACR Service Tech Tips. And today I'll be talking about service valves. I'd like to share some information with you on service valves. This information is also coming from Copeland Manufacturing, who is one of the largest manufacturers of refrigeration equipment and appliances. So I'm going to get started on the service valve. This service valve is a typical service valve is composed of four essential parts: a line connection, valve stem, service opening or gauge port, compressor connection. Let me just share this image with you. That way you can see the parts that I mentioned. The four sections are the line connection, which you have right here, right in here. You have your valve stem right here. You have your service opening or gauge port right here. And you have your compressor connection right here. These service valves also come equipped with a packing gland nut, which is what you can see right here. Typically, the service valve has a common connection that is always open. When the valve is back seated, the stem is all the way out. The gauge port is closed and the valve is open, allowing refrigerant to flow through the system. If the valve is front seated, meaning the stem is all the way in, the gauge port is open to the compressor connection and the refrigerant line, suction or discharge connection is closed. In order to read the pressure while the valve is open, the valve should be back seated, then turned once or twice to slightly open all three connections: the gauge port, the line, and the compressor. This allows both the compressor and refrigerant line to be open and vapor pressure to flow through. At the gauge port, you can check system pressure and charge or reclaim refrigerant. When opening a service valve, make sure the service valve is secure in a vise bolted down or attached with a rotolock connection. Before attempting to open the packing nut or valve stem, verify whether the valve employs a packing gland nut. Many Copeland brand service valves do. The packing nuts help ensure a leak-free seal. It is typically brass and is found at the base of the valve stem. It must be loosened by a quarter to a full turn before opening the valve. Make sure to tighten the nut when you are finished manipulating the valve stem. Use the right tools. Service valves on Copeland brand condensing units have a torque requirement of 22 to 25 foot-pounds. In order to have a leak-free seal when the nut leaves the plant, you will only be able to open a service valve with the appropriately sized service valve wrench. Do not attempt to open a service valve with an adjustable wrench. You may round the valve stem edges and the valve will be useless. If all else fails and the stem appears stuck, lightly tap the end of the valve stem with a hammer and the valve should open. And again, lightly tap with a hammer. And then just keep in mind that if the packing gland nut is not loosened, the valve could be damaged. So this is something that you would want to check before you attempt to start manipulating the valve stem and stuff like that. You want to check that packing gland nut and make sure that there's no previous damage done to it. Let me see if I can show you an image of the there's an image of the service valve for you, just so you could see what they look like. I'm sure most of you probably already know what they look like and everything, but I just wanted to share this information with you, and hopefully this is helpful. And I hope that all of this information is clear to you and that it's able to help you when you're out in the field. So let me know in comments if you have any questions or any suggestions or anything that might be going on with you working on these valve systems, these service valves. Any of your experiences, put it in the comments. That's all I have for now. I thank you for watching. Take care and stay well.